Welcome back, audience. Today we are going to be working on a magical square. First thing I'm going to start with is a piece of cloth. You can use cheesecloth or a light piece of cotton, whatever you want really. I've measured out a square 6 inches by 6 inches, and I'm going to cut that out. All right, so now you're going to want to do this twice. You need 2 squares. One of the next things I've done is I've gone around and made a border all the way around about a 1/2 inch, basically making a square within my square. This will give me a little bit of an allowance or a border when I go to glue this. Alright, so you can see I have a border here a little bit, and this is basically a square that is 5 inches by 5 inches. Easy. Now I used a pencil first and the ruler and marked out my measurements, and then I went over it with the Sharpie. Once you're done with that, with the Sharpie, you can go through and erase any pencil marks if you want to. So now we have a palindrome. This is a group of words that can be read forwards and backwards. This particular magic square is called the Sator Square. It is a charm or a talisman that provides protection. It wards off attacks of negative energy, misfortune, illness, and banishes evil from the home when hung on the wall. So this I am making to hang over my front door, and I'm going to make another one to hang over my back door. What I wanted to do was make it a sachet. So I have a sachet, I should say. I have 2 of them, and I'm going to go glue them together because I don't feel like sewing. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to leave the top open so I can place in protective crystals, black salt, white salts, sage, any kind of herbs, anything that has metaphysical properties for protection. And I'm going to hang this baby on my wall. That's basically the nutshell of this project. A couple of tips: when you are starting to write in the letters, look it up online, the Sator Square, or pull a book for reference material to make sure that you get the letters in the right spots, because I did it in permanent marker, so you definitely want to be sure where everything is and it's in the right spot, especially when you get in the middle. That's a little confusing. Also, I made sure to use just a piece of paper underneath it, since this is very thin material. The permanent marker would soak through, and I don't want you guys to mark up a table or anything like that. Almost finished square here. As you can see, I went through and gave it more of an antique look. All I used was a little bit of coffee grounds at first with some water. I always have coffee grounds around the house because I drink coffee every day. Then I wanted it to have a little bit more extra punch, so I used some storm water that I had collected and my good old trusty watercolor palette. So that's how I got a much more noticeable antique look on this. And as I mentioned, I did use 2 pieces, so there's 2 sides to it. I'm going to finish the other side as soon as this dries a little bit more, but I did basically make it into like a little sachet or a little type of hanging pillow, and I'm going to be placing this on my wall, but I want to give her a little bit of time to dry. And the last thing that I will do is add some protective salt to her, California white sage, and lastly I'm going to put these little dudes. This is completely optional. These are actually goat heads that have grown in my yard and have made their way into my house, and they basically are stickers, little burrs type of things that you end up stepping on all the time. So these actually have involuntary samples of DNA on them, so that is marking this pouch as mine to protect me and my property and my household, my family. So those are going to be added in there, just a couple of those. The salt, the sage, and probably a protective crystal. I wanted to leave this open so I could change it out, you know, if I want to put different things in here, like maybe black salt or different herbs, or change out the crystal, I can, so it's easy. And that, my friends, is pretty much it for this Sator Square. I just want to close this out with saying that this little magic square is a powerhouse, and it's going to bring blessings to you and your household. It's going to bring strength and power to you and your property. So I highly recommend giving this a shot. And I do believe, you know, you don't have to go as far as what I did. You can write out these letters and these words. Use this talisman in your grimoire or your book of shadows. Use it everywhere, in your behind mirrors, on your walls, in your car, anything that you want to protect, pop it in there. You can even use this to carry upon yourself. You know, make a smaller version and put it in your wallet or your purse. You know, make one for where you work to protect, you know, your area or your territory at work. So yeah, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, comment below. Alright guys, so here is my front door in all her glory. I went ahead and attached the Sator Square to the top of the door. I used a very old rusty nail that I found out in the desert. Since iron has a lot of protective qualities to me, I have a tendency to use it a lot in my spell work. So I hope you guys will give the Sator Square a shot and add it to your magical practice. Until then, remember, go outside, find the moon. Boop, right there.